definitely ready for the public to get here. Actually excited for it, can't wait to tour the house, tell them all about it, bring them up to speed, and show them what we've been working on for the last 2 years.
My impressions of that event was so positive in that we were the host city of that great event. City of Irvine was selected among many other candidate cities, and it was a very important fact that we became the host city of that wonderful event.
What I most enjoyed about the Solar Decathlon were the young people that were involved in the project. I have 2 young daughters, aged 10 and 6, and the young women that were out at the Solar Decathlon, today's young women who are in college studying engineering and architecture, and the young women that build those homes, they are the role models for the next generation. My daughters, 6 and 10, they went out there and they look up to those women, and now they know it's cool as a young girl to study math and science and engineering.
Well, honestly, I believe that the day we took the children out, which was on a Sunday, I think my grandchildren saw the future of their world as they get older and what they're going to be seeing and expecting and living in, the type of world they will be living in.
But the chance to be the first host city outside of Washington, D.C. was just an astounding achievement for the city of Irvine. But what really sold it, I think, was the fact that the city of Irvine owns and operates the emerging Orange County Great Park, and that park, even in its current iteration, has such amazing resources that make it a perfect host venue.
Well, you know, it was so exciting the first day when we were walking out to see the houses for the very first time when they were just being open to the public. First of all, it was very exciting to see how many people were already coming in on that first day and had heard about the Solar Decathlon. But looking at those houses, each one very unique, each a work of art in its own way, and then going through the houses, what struck me that first day and what struck me every other occasion that I had to be out there was just the enthusiasm of these young people and the brilliance of these college students who had been involved in creating these houses.
Get ready to hear the stories and solutions of 20 collegiate teams who design and actually build net zero houses to compete in what is arguably the most important design competition in the world. You'll meet the teams and see the technology you can use today, coming up next on Powerhouses, the competition. Meet Richard King. He works for the U.S. Department of Energy and is the director and founder of the Solar Decathlon.
I created the Solar Decathlon and had the idea in 1998 and announced it in 2000. So let's go back to what was going on in the 1980s and 1990s at the U.S. Department of Energy. We were doing a lot of research, working very hard to make the technology more reliable, because in the 70s, we were putting up technology too early, a little premature, and a lot of it didn't work well. So by about the mid-90s, we had very robust, reliable photovoltaic panels and solar panels that create hot water. But we weren't moving the market. We hadn't learned how to integrate it into a building and make it look good. So it was moving from the research to, all right, what's the barrier now? It's not R&D, it's market barriers. Homeowner associations wouldn't approve it. People didn't want to put it on their roof. It cost too much. All these reasons why not were not You couldn't solve it in the R&D, laboratory. It occurred to me that it was all education. So I recruited our universities to help out, challenged them. You schools of architecture, which are, the best in the world, the engineering departments, get together, design a house, and I'll give you an award for it. We'll challenge you to build the best of them in the country.
And so was born what some people refer to as the most important design competition in the world today. This is the 6th biennial contest since its inception, and the Solar Decathlon has spawned several competitions abroad. With the inclusion of Solar Decathlon Europe and Solar Decathlon China, over 192 teams have competed with 29,000 students engaged in this competition. And while Richard King is quite proud of the contest's growth, he is very quick to attribute its success to what he calls the real stars of the Solar Decathlon, our future engineers, designers, and business leaders, that is to say, the innovative and passionate college students of the Solar Decathlon. Each team spends 2 years of their lives designing for this contest. Their goal is to win the competition by building the most efficient, affordable, and desirable home in the world. Each and every day of the competition, daily tasks such as dishwashing, laundry, showers, and cooking will be performed. The air temperature and quality inside these houses will be constantly monitored and measured, and points will be awarded or deducted throughout the 9 days of the competition. But before these houses can be measured and judged, before the public can see firsthand the technology that makes these homes the most efficient in the world, the students have to get them to the contest. Each house is respectively built at its remote location. It's then taken apart, loaded up, and shipped to the contest where it's reassembled for the competition. Where is the contest location? The Orange County Great Park in the city of Irvine, California. This was originally used as a runway for the El Toro Marine Base. It has been planned and designed as the still developing Great Park. And now today, it will undergo yet another historical transformation. It will soon become a busy construction site for a showcase of world innovation. The houses arrive from far and near, by boat, trains, and eventually trucks. These teams look out at the empty runway and ready themselves for the next great challenge, maybe their biggest, the start of on-site construction. 19 tractor trailers are lined up at the gate, awaiting the signal to unload 19 houses. The students anxiously await the official start time and the official ribbon cutting, signifying the start of the 2013 U.S. Department of Energy Solar Decathlon. And after 2 years of preparation, the ribbon is finally cut.
3, 2, 1.
But now, each team has just 9 days to build their house.
So these supports here, a piece will come down.
Down this way.
Yep, and then you've got another one here.
Exactly.
Ah, very clever.
Every house has one thing in common. If they don't finish construction by noon on October 1st, they will lose points in the competition. And that will almost certainly keep a team from placing in the top 3. Historically, a handful of teams will lose this competition before it even begins. So, the planning and execution of the transportation and construction is critical.
It got here early. We had to actually figure out where we could store it before we get here ourselves. But everything worked out well. We had all the containers ready before we got here. And then on the first day, we could start loading stuff in and started putting our foundation down.
To shield themselves from the Austrian weather, the team constructed their house in a hangar 4.5 hours away from their university. The house's journey began from there.
We put it on trucks, we loaded it on trucks directly in our hangar, and they drove up to Germany, and then it left Hamburg and went over the Atlantic and then through the Panama Canal and then right here on the West Coast. So it was quite a trip. I think we estimated roughly 2 months. I think it ended up taking 6 weeks or so.
Every team has an assembly plan, and many schools have even practiced disassembling and reassembling their houses. Teams like Middlebury know from experience what a grueling process lies ahead of them. The team figured out they would have 90% reduction in carbon imprint by shipping their house to the West Coast on a train.
So the decision to ship by train and save carbon ended up making all of our house come apart into more than 36 pieces, and that's just the exterior structure, not including any of the accessories, the deck, things like that. So it means that we've got a lot more work to do as far as assembling the house, and it's going to be long days throughout the entire assembly period.
2 of these teams have home field advantage. USC and SciArt Caltech are all Southern California schools, but everyone else is removed from their natural elements.
I'm going to tell you, actually, the biggest challenge isn't necessarily to do with building, but it's about the conditions. You know, we're going to be putting in long days. It's hot out here, trying to keep people hydrated, trying to keep people's energy and excitement up. But I think once things start moving, that energy will kind of just keep the momentum going, and we can deal with the conditions as they come.
USC is definitely the closest school, less than 40 miles as the crow flies. Their 3 modules were loaded on trucks and ready to transport 2 days ago. Unlike most of the other teams, they decided early on no cranes would be used in their staging.
So Southern California is notorious in the fall for the Santa Ana winds. And when you have a crane lifting a module that's 30,000 pounds, 40 feet in the air, and you have a strong gust, it tends to teeter and totter, which can be a issue. So we went with the forklift. At maximum will be about 48 inches off the ground. Our biggest concern is safety. You never know what can happen, but it's pretty safe. We're pretty level and balanced.
The words barely left his mouth when the weight of the 3rd module suddenly shifted forward. While following the safety procedures kept all the students safe, 2 years worth of design and engineering are now in danger.
Seems like we lost our equilibrium when we counterbalanced and the module took hold of the forklift. So we have our little mini one to the rescue, bringing up maybe a counterweight on that. This is very nerve-wracking right now, actually.
However, the threat was short-lived. The adjustment worked immediately. With all 4 wheels back on the ground, it was back to business and back on schedule, and back to installing the 3rd and final module.
So as far as I know, I think we're the closest, but Santa and Clara down the street, they're pretty close too. So I think they're going to lift a roof soon, but I think we can beat them to it.
The unofficial gauntlet has been thrown. These teams begin an informal competition to see who can get their inspections done the quickest. So, as we head into day 2 of construction, several houses are ostensibly complete, while one lot in the village is looking very empty. SciArt Caltech's team is virtually absent save for a few lingering souls. Their neighbors are curious, especially because this entry is the first solar-powered moving house in history, and we have yet to catch a glimpse of it.
All the houses are at different stages. Ours, I mean, everyone's like, your house isn't here. I mean, we're still working on it at our school. I mean, we're fortunate because our school is relatively close. So we can work it there. It's actually coming in on Thursday, where it's more or less complete. More or less.
Yesterday, there was a small crew working, and this is what they left here.
Because of our design, the rails, the formwork, the concrete, the foundation has to be exactly specifically measured and laid in order to have the movement of the modules be exact.
Even after all the previous contests, it seems solar decathlon history is being made several times over in 2013. The first ever moving solar-powered house. The first time the contest is held outside of DC, And
we are, as far as we know, the first team to use construction power completely from solar power. And what we've done here is we've worked with a company called Sol Solutions that are based just north of us in Northern California. And they provide these modules which use panels to charge batteries during the day. And that provides all of our construction lighting at night, and then the power that we're running all of our saws, all of our chargers, and everything on.
actually, they need to share that distinction. Their California neighbor right across the street was also harnessing the power of the sun for the saw for the first time in competition history. There are, of course, plenty of first-time ever innovations in 2013, but here's a few that were unveiled during the construction process.
We've integrated a shape memory alloy wire into the assembly of the screens. When that wire is heated by the sun, it contracts, and that contraction operates all the louvers, shading the interior space from the solar gains that would radiate through the glazing.
The most incredible thing I think we've done is just the concrete you see behind you is a geopolymer cement, which is completely different than Portland cement, a completely different chemical makeup, and basically the long and short of it is it's a 90% reduction in carbon footprint.
We are going to see some incredible houses here. We're about a third of the way through the construction period, and every day brings individual challenges for each team.
The biggest challenge to date has been trying to get our 3 sections together and all flush and perfectly level. The biggest issue with that was during the move, the metal structure underneath the house flexed a lot more than what we were intending. So what we basically had to do is using ratchets and a lot of come-alongs, we had to rebend the metal into position. We bought 4 winches and we broke 3 of them. They're rated at 8,000 pounds. So I mean, like, the metal, as flexible as it is, it's extremely strong still. Should have taken 1 day by our schedule, but it ended up taking 2.5. We have a lot of strong guys on the team now, so it's probably their doing. But once we got it all bent back into shape, you just slide them right together. With come-alongs, though. A lot of come-alongs.
Coordinating vendors, subcontractors, and deliveries for 19 different projects is a job in and of itself. And inevitably, things don't always go as planned.
Last night, we got a call to come pick up our green roof, and we thought, oh, maybe they'll be in pallets and we just have to load them onto a flatbed or something like that. But whatever the delivery service did was they unloaded each of these trays individually and laid them out on planks for us.
Instead of simply bringing pallets of plants on a forklift for the install, the team was forced to handle each plant several more times than they had anticipated.
We spent about 3 hours loading green roof trays onto pallets and then put the pallets on a flatbed. So it was a little bit of an arduous evening activity, but it's here now, so we're happy about that. We are probably the only team with a green roof, and that's because we have taken our solar panels off of our roof, so we have the freedom to do what we want with our roof space. The benefits of using a green roof are they manage stormwater, they sequester carbon, and they add to the natural landscape around the house.
Part of the construction process is completing inspections. Every team is required to pass every inspection. The inspection crew must schedule and perform 28 inspections for 19 teams in just 9 days. And since a team can't move into the next phase until passing the previous inspection, speed and efficiency must go hand in hand with thoroughness.
Hey, AJ, you guys ready for your final? We are good to go. Yeah, let's go.
Yet, even while presented with this massive undertaking, some teams just can't help but compete.
We are tied with USC in inspections. It's not a part of the competition, it's not anything we get points for, but it's something we take pride in being first at. And we were ahead by a wide margin yesterday, but USC came back and caught up. So we hustled to get a few more checked off, and I think we're back in first.
With progress comes responsibility. As teams pass their electrical inspections, they become hooked into the grid. And now the accountability begins.
My understanding is that if we were to produce more power than we were consuming for the rest of the assembly period, it would reset back to 0, so we would not be getting any gain when the competition starts. However, if we end up using more power than we produce in this next period of time prior to competition, we will go in with a negative number that we will have to make up for during competition to get back to net 0.
And while electricity can be complicated for every non-engineer on the planet, it gets even more complicated when you're building a house in California that was designed for Europe.
The unique thing about our electrical system is that basically we have two separate systems. Inside of the house we are using European electrical system, which means 240 watts and 50 hertz, and we are sending outside US electricity in 120 watts and 60 hertz.
And our European friends are not the only teams with foreign complications.
We brought our entire house down in 3 trucks. 2 trucks were for the housing modules themselves, and we had a 3rd truck for parts, which we completely filled. So we ended up having to buy a few materials when we came down to California. And one of the materials that we found really hard to replace was our Robertson screws. They don't sell Robertson screws here in the States. So we actually had to go out and buy Phillips bits and Phillips screws to finish our decking and some of our other building material.
It's day number 7, and the village is starting to look like a village. Today is water delivery day. With only 2 days left to finish building a house and complete all inspections, this is the only chance for teams to receive a water delivery. For the 12-man Team Texas, it's every man on deck every day. So when they don't have the proper fitting to get water from the delivery truck into their tanks, it becomes a big deal.
We need just a valve to pretty much control the water in, and that was it. That right now I have everybody working, and it's really hard to step off the project and go and purchase missing items. It damages the project. So I made the decision to send another team member because a lot of our questions were popping up over here. Hey Jacob, are you almost here?
With the delivery guy sitting in his truck and empty water tanks, poor Jacob got turned around, and the water delivery is in jeopardy of not happening.
Okay, because we need those fittings.
It's the end of the day, and the question is, how long will the truck wait?
Well, if we don't get our water filled today, we're gonna have to bring from our expense from our pocket another water truck to come and fill up our water tanks.
Like a good leader, he takes responsibility for the delay and negotiates successfully with the driver, who was kind enough to wait. So Texas will have water. It's day number 8, and the teams are really starting to feel the pressure.
We're trying to build a house in 9 days, and that's one heck of a feat. So we've flirted with deadlines before, but we've always seemed to pull through, and I think we're definitely we have the confidence to pull through on this one too.
Some teams are visibly closer than others, and you can almost feel the tension on those sites that will be working up to the last minute.
At noon, you got to be sitting down, not working. And they say that if you're continuing any kind of construction work past 12, there's a humongous penalty, about the equivalent of taking you down 1 place in the competition.
Day 9 arrives, and it's apparent some teams are likely to finish by noon, and some teams, well...
So about 10:30 or so we called it and let them know that we were going to be a little late. So all we have left is the deck. I never thought the deck would be the thing that caught us up, so... You live and you learn, I guess.
At the end of the day, 4 teams did not make the noon cutoff. Team Texas, Team Missouri, Team West Virginia, and SciArt Caltech. But incredibly, 15 teams did.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Very good.
Thank you.
Congratulations, you're the first.
I don't even know if you can put words to it. It's great. It's amazing to be done first at that.
It's been a really tough week, and we've had a lot of long hours and not enough sleep really, but we've had good spirits, and so everybody just really hustled and we made it happen, and it's just an incredible feeling to be done.
After 9 days of intense construction, 19 completed homes stand waiting to be filled with spectators. For many students, this was the first full night's sleep they've had in weeks, and they're gonna need to be well rested today, because today is the official unveiling of the houses for the press. Camera crews from PBS, CNBC, and national news stations scatter about the solar village. Photographers, reporters, and magazine contributors donning pad and pencil, digital recorders, and cameras arrive from LA, Orange County, and who knows where else.
We really thank you so much for coming, and let's get started.
And you're about to see what they saw. Your own personal introduction to 19 of the most efficient and innovative houses in the world. Welcome to the 2013 U.S. Department of Energy Solar Decathlon's Solar Village.
We are Team Ontario, and we brought with us Echo.
O-N-T, O-N-T, Team Ontario!
Which is a house designed for the Echo boomers. And the key feature of our house is our mechanical system, which is a novel liquid-based system that stores our energy in water.
All right, we're Team West Virginia. Our house is peak. We're preserving energy with Appalachian knowledge.
Let's go! Mountains! Let's go! Mountains!
One of the unique features of our house is our integrated smart home system. This system not only allows you to control all aspects of the house, but also allows you to track your body and your life.
Team SCU! SCU!
Hi, we're Santa Clara University, and we have designed and built Radiant House. It's called Radiant House for its radiant heating and cooling system.
Broncos, what is your profession? Ow! Ow! Ow!
But what really sets our house apart is that we're one of the first modern houses to ever use minimally processed bamboo in its structural system.
We are Team ASUNM, a collaboration with Arizona State University and the University of New Mexico. Our house is called SHADE, which stands for Solar Homes Adapting for Desert Equilibrium. The most important features in our house is our solar canopy, which provides ample amount of shade on the south patio.
Go SHADE!
This is Team Capital DC and Harvest Home, which seeks to replenish and reuse nature's valuable resources. Equipped with a passively activated sunscreen, we have customized this home for a returning U.S. wounded veteran.
Desert Soul Mates!
We are Team Las Vegas. This house is Desert Soul. We are the solution for desert living and the soul of the Mojave Desert. One of our key innovations is a digitally fabricated screen that opens in the winter to provide passive solar heating and closes in the summer to shade the house, and the screen is cut so that you actually feel like you're underneath a mesquite tree.
We're Team North Carolina. Welcome to Urban Eden. Our main concept was bringing nature into the city, and we were able to do that by a large porch on the south side of the house that opens up to a large garden. One of the main features of our house is the innovative geopolymer concrete, which allowed us to reduce our carbon footprint by 90%.
We're Team Alberta, represented by the University of Calgary and Mount Royal University, and this is Borealis. Borealis is named after the boreal forest in northern Alberta and the Aurora Borealis, the beautiful northern lights. Our house is for working populations in northern Alberta for 2 individuals. The 2 side modules are living modules for the 2 individuals, and it shares a center module with our kitchen and our bathroom.
All right, we're Team USC. We're proud to present Flux Home, and we're called Flux Home because it's about flexible living based on adaptability and change. And our key innovative feature is our large operable skylights and openings, which allow natural ventilation in to integrate with our active energy.
Why not Team USC? Middlebury!
We are Team Middlebury from Middlebury College, and this is Insight, our home which was designed for a specific site in Middlebury, Vermont. And our most innovative feature is our solar path. It is an adaptable approach to residential solar power.
We're Missouri S&T, and we're here at the Solar Decathlon for our 5th time.
S&T! S&T!
This is the Chameleon House, and it's called the Chameleon House because of the Chameleon home automation system. This system integrates all the other features within the house and heats and cools the home in the most efficient manner possible.
Missouri S&T!
We are Team Norwich, and this is our Delta T90 house. It was built in a modular home factory in Vermont. Our 16-inch thick wall section allows our house to maintain a comfortable interior temperature of 70 degrees when exterior temperatures reach negative 20 degrees.
The Delta T90 house. Stanford Start Home!
We're Team Stanford, and our house is called the Start Home. It's called the Start Home because it's going to revolutionize the building industry, give people a way to have sustainable homes and sustainable lifestyles. You'll see gesture-based room switches, hands-free sinks, and moving solar art.
Hello, we are Team Czech Republic. We are presenting you our house. The best thing about our house is the double skin. The first skin protects the house from the sun here in California, while in Czech Republic, by changing the orientation, it will protect the house from the bad weather and allow the sun to come inside.
Hi, we are Team Sire Caltech. We're a very talented and hardworking group of students from the Southern California Institute of Architecture and the California Institute of Technology. This is our 2nd time competing in the Solar Decathlon, and this time we are happy to bring to you Dale. It's a dynamic, augmented living environment, and it's a moving house that takes net zero living to the next level.
Dale!
This is Team Texas, and this is our Adapt Home. It's the Adapt Home because it adapts to the user, creating a comfortable, luxurious, and affordable environment using radiant cooling and no air conditioning whatsoever.
Go Texas!
We're Team Austria.
Servus!
We're Team Austria. Our house is called LISI, which stands for Living Inspired by Sustainable Innovation. It's made almost entirely of domestic renewable wood products that are combined into a flexible floating space. And really, it's the best example of the European take on solar building.
We are Team Kentuckiana. Our team is comprised of 3 universities, the University of Louisville, Ball State University, and the University of Kentucky.
Team Kentuckiana!
We are the Phoenix House. Our house is a permanent solution to disaster relief. It is a rapidly assembled modular home construction.
For innovation!
Hi, we're the Stevens team, and we're here bringing you EcoHabit, which creates a new mindset of interaction between home, green technologies, and the homeowner. And we have 8 great innovations that you can't see anywhere else.
With all these incredible designs, spectacular homes, and innovative concepts, how do you choose a winner? Well, you start by collecting and comparing data. And that data comes in 2 forms, subjective and measured.
What do you think? Are we at 110 yet?
The Solar Decathlon gets its name from having 10 contests. Each contest is worth 100 points, so that total it's a 1,000-point contest. So the teams get 100 points for 5 juried or subjective contests: architecture, engineering, market viability, communications, and affordability. We have professional jurors go through the houses and evaluate them and assess points. We also have 5 performance-based contests. So we put thermocouples and light meters and temperature sensors in the houses to measure all the energy performance of the house.
The 5 performance-based contests are appliances, hot water, comfort zone, energy balance, and everyone's favorite, home entertainment. Points are continually accrued throughout the competition. In the appliance contest, teams must keep their refrigerators and freezers at the designated temperatures, do 7 loads of laundry, and wash dishes every other day.
Right now we're doing the dishwasher competition. It essentially consists of running a normal dishwasher load, and you have to get the inside temperature up to 128 degrees. Just finished running the dishwasher, and we're going to go ahead and open it up to see if we reach the required temperature. Alright, so it is clean, finished.
There are 2 sensors, and they both have to read over 120. The volunteer observer takes the first and records it. The second one is handed to the observer, and
it's also over 130, so you did it.
Yeah, awesome.
Team Texas will be awarded the full points for the day. And as this competition unfolds, every point is essential. Hot water is its own contest, and that makes it worth a full 100 points. There's just one test, but each house must do it 16 times.
And right now what's going on is water's coming out of the shower unit. It's going through the gauge, it's determining the gallons per minute. This is an on-off shut-off valve, and this is a temperature reading. As you can see, right now we're averaging an average temperature of 115.6 degrees.
Team Kentuckiana gets all its hot water points for the day. The comfort zone is also worth 100 points. Teams are required to keep their homes between 71 and 76 degrees with relative humidity below 60%. In order to keep tabs, the organizers place wireless sensors in each house that communicate information in real time. Students have access to the real-time information at the instrumentation trailer located right next to the solar village.
So basically we're doing everything we can to keep our line between these 2 dotted ones, and so if you can see at the end we've been going up and down as we've been opening and closing the house. Right now we're getting warmer, which is what I expected and what I kind of want to be happening, because I just closed up our house, so we don't have any kind of breeze going through it, so it should be getting warmer because it's just kind of sitting there.
And so how will the team regulate? Will they use their clay wall misting system, which cools the house the same way sweat cools the human body, or will they use their namesake radiant cooling system, which circulates cool water through the floorboards and ceilings?
I need you to open the bedroom door on the north side, and then open the kitchen window as well. So temperature's going up, so we need to bring it down a little bit.
All right, yeah, I got it.
They have used the most efficient system of all, the passive energy cooling system. Every house is very careful to use as little energy as they can in order to bode well in the energy balance contest. It's very simple. At the end of the contest week, each house that has produced more energy than it used will be awarded 100 points.
There's no batteries in the site. You can't store energy. So basically, you want your panels to be producing, and you want to create enough power and produce enough during the day to offset what you're going to use in the evening when the sun goes down.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. With today's solar panels, every team should easily get the full 100 points at the end of the week. And last but not least in the measured contests is home entertainment. Teams get points for keeping their house well lit in the evenings, simulating daily cooking by boiling pots of water, keeping their home electronics on, hosting a movie night, and not one, but 2 dinner parties. Teams host each other for an 8-person dinner party. And while they only earn a total of 10 potential points, the preparations for this contest make the Food Network shows look like children's tea parties.
We got blackberry lemonade spritzer, along with some prosciutto, melon, and balsamic syrup.
So we've got an Italian appetizer, prosciutto wrapped asparagus with rosemary cream sauce.
Heirloom tomato towers, layered with pesto, and it's topped with a olive oil ice cream.
Yam fritters with some sauteed onions in it.
Homemade Greek salad with a tzatziki sauce.
This is Parmesan freshly grated cheese. It's really salty.
Corn and bean salad, a little bit of mango salsa to put on top of the salmon.
And then a little bit of tiramisu cheesecake for dessert, which is also made from scratch. So we got it going on over here in Las Vegas. We're doing it big.
This is the definition of a win-win contest.
What am I looking forward to the most? Getting 100%. And of course, making our guests feel welcome and feeding them a good meal. But mostly the 100%.
While the 64,000 attendees enjoyed all the activity in the Solar Village, they also had plenty of opportunity to visit a multitude of other active areas across more than 75 acres of the Orange County Great Park. These included great park features such as the Palm Court Arts Complex and the Farm and Food Lab, as well as special attractions like the Sunshot Innovation Pavilion in the Expo area, the Toyota Drive Center, the UC Irvine-sponsored California Challenge, the Foundation for the Great Park Powerful Ideas Symposium, the Bosch e-bike experience, and the Kids Discovery Village, sponsored by Bosch. There was something for everyone of all ages and interests. With the dinner parties and movie nights behind them, the measured points continue to add up slowly each day. Paul Norton shows us how the teams are doing point-wise.
So this block of the first 10 teams are all still in contention for first place because the point spread is so tight. There's a lot of points left to be had.
Once the juried contest results are announced, the field will narrow quickly. But after 7 days of measured contests, here's how it stands right now. Santa Clara proves to be the most efficient house and is in first place with 276 points. Holding the second position with 274 points is Las Vegas. And tied for third with 273 points apiece are Team Capital DC and Stanford University. 5 other teams are within 5 points, so half the field is separated by less than 1% of the total points. That's tight. But what happens next is undeniably the most exciting part of this contest. It's time to announce the results of the juried contests: architecture, market appeal, engineering, communications, and affordability. The big day arrives, and the historic Hangar 244 holds some high-flying hopes. Reporters, supporters, and cameras galore surround the nervous team members. Roll call is performed, and the ceremony begins.
This year we have a three-way tie for first place. The first of three winners of the 2013 Solar Decathlon Affordability Contest is Kentucky, Indiana, University of Louisville, Ball State, and the University of Kentucky.
A lot of us started this competition 3 years ago, and a lot of our designs may have been $400,000 plus. But through great management, a great architecture team, and a great engineering team, somehow we managed to pull off the first place trophy.
The house uses durable, low-maintenance, reclaimed materials and an open floor plan with a vaulted ceiling to maximize space, and it features a bathroom specially designed and built to double as a weather shelter. The Phoenix house produces all its own energy from PV panels and recycles much of its own water.
And the second first place winner is Norwich University.
With Norwich University's Delta T90 house, we set our mission from the very beginning to address the housing crisis, not only branching beyond Vermont and the US, but to a global scale.
The team set out to prove that good design is not a function of cost. The Delta T90 house creates a grand and spacious ambiance by providing ample daylight and high ceilings, which are rarely found in affordable housing. The house accommodates New England's climate range by using 16-inch wide, highly insulated walls to maximize the building envelope.
And our final first place team is Stanford University.
We had a pretty good idea that we might do pretty well. Going into it, we had a half an hour with the estimator. We were at about $290,000, and in the half hour we spent, we were kind of counting up the money that we thought we were pulling out of the house, basically. And we were pretty sure we were down under $250,000, which would be good enough. It was nice to see that we were well under $250,000, we were $234,000.
Stanford's Start Home aims to spark a revolution by lowering the entry barrier for an ultra-efficient house and making sustainability trendy, social, and affordable. The team's concept is to offer a prefabricated core module, which includes a kitchen counter and appliances, bathroom and a laundry room, and a highly efficient mechanical room with integrated electrical and plumbing systems.
We thought that this house best met the needs and desires of the target market as they had described it. We hope that in this instance, what happens in this place does not stay in this place. So, obviously, it's Las Vegas.
Special thanks to the marketing team that's back at UNLV who spent last summer researching the target market with us.
Soul House is envisioned as a vacation home for a seasonal retreat, a base camp for desert adventures. And so, the house makes careful use of the desert's solar and water resources. A special water feature captures water from the occasional desert downpour and uses it for irrigation and spot cooling on the outdoor deck with a cool tower. PV panels provide electricity and shade the outdoor living space, and solar thermal collectors provide radiant floor and water heating. And so the standings shift after the first round of announcements. The most efficient house in the competition plummets from 1st to 10th place, while Middlebury College and Team Ontario jump to 3rd with 546 points apiece. Las Vegas holds a steady 2nd place position with 548 points, and jumping from 3rd to top honors is Stanford University with 549 points. With 300 more points yet to be awarded, this is still anybody's game. The two contests awarded next will be communications and architecture.
The most successful teams were able to portray a lifestyle brand
rather than merely conveying the technical features of their houses. The first place award for the communication goes to Team Austria from the Vienna University of Technology.
The most successful thing in our communication actually was the folders that we had made out of recycled material, and they had the idea of actually folding origami. So they made an information folder which really turned into a crown, and everyone is doing this. Boy Scouts from America like it very much.
The first place award of this Solar Decathlon 2013 architecture contest goes to the Czech Republic, Czech Technology University.
Some of the details that stand out in my mind about this house are the way that it was a home within a home, the way that they used this exoskeleton to shade their home, to provide shelter for the box within, and to provide places for entry and for living outside.
Team Czech Republic designed the Air House for the generation of 50-plus-year-olds who are empty nesters nearing retirement who would like to use the house as a weekend getaway in the countryside. It features a gray water system to provide irrigation for the built-in garden and an electric bike charging station. And so with the Czechs bringing back the top honors in architecture, the scales are once again tipped. And the Czechs move on to the board to share the third place position with Stevens with 851 points apiece. While Las Vegas doesn't move up, it doesn't move down either. 855 points keeps Las Vegas locked in the second position. And taking fourth in architecture and first in communications is the 1-2 punch from Team Austria that knocks Stanford out of first and into fourth, making Team Austria the leader with 859 points. With only 100 available points left, there's only an 8-point total difference between the top four teams. The scores of the engineering contest will decide once and for all who takes home the first place trophy of the U.S. Department of Energy's 2013 Solar Decathlon.
We believe this team best demonstrated design excellence with optimal energy production and maximum efficiency. The first place award for engineering goes to Team Ontario, Queen's University, Carleton University, and Algonquin College.
2 years ago when we set out, this was probably the most prized possession that we set out to achieve here at this competition.
Team Ontario designed Echo as a starter home. The engineers and architects worked together and started with a highly insulated air-type envelope that encases the bright and open space of the house. The team integrated the mechanical systems that provide heating, cooling, dehumidification, and domestic hot water into one system specifically designed for the layout of the house. They also focused on controlling solar gain, which is the natural increase in heat generated by the sun hitting the house. Now, all the points are accounted for. The MC for the event prepares the crowd for the announcement of the final results.
I've just been told that the final scores were the closest they have ever been since the beginning of this competition in 2002. This is the 6th Solar Decathlon. The competition is razor close. Give yourselves a hand, all right? The third place winner of the Solar Decathlon for 2013 is the Czech Technical University from the Czech Republic. And now for the second place winner of the Solar Decathlon 2013, the envelope. Second place winner is the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And now it is my great honor to announce the first place winner of the U.S. Department of Energy's Solar Decathlon for 2013. And the envelope, please. The first place winner of this Solar Decathlon, the 6th in history in the U.S., Team Austria from Vienna, Austria of Technology.
Vienna University of Technology's winning entry is named Lisi. The house was designed to adapt to a range of climate zones and to flex to meet a variety of lifestyles. A large exterior curtain system closes to form a protective cocoon for occupants and opens to allow them to expand their space. The home includes 2 outdoor patios and a multifunctional subfloor system that regulates the entire building's indoor climate using water, air, and active cubic capacity. Storage space is integrated into the walls, freeing up the indoor space. And after thanking the Department of Energy organizers and his teammates, Philip spoke of his gratitude in a way that really embodied the spirit of this competition.
We thank all the other teams. Whether you lent us tools and equipment during construction, or gave us rides home, or to the yard house, or invited us over for breakfast, you guys just all rock, so give yourselves a big hand too. You know, we started out with a simple, elegant Austrian vacation home and have somehow ended up with a James Bond-themed love chalet. So I think overall it's safe to say that this competition was a success. Thank you very much.
So much the out-of-the-box concepts were presented, and then we should learn from those demonstrations.
What I thought that was most incredible were these teams of young people. This was a 2-year project for them. They created, they thought of, they dreamed of these homes. Then they actually conceptualized them on paper, and then they actually built them.
The Solar Decathlon is the first recognition of what the Great Park is all about.
It was great to see so many parts of the Great Park deployed in order to host the Solar Decathlon, but also to show just how much activity we can have going on at the same time within that beautiful site.
Being allowed to have this event in our city, we became really internationally focused. So many people from all over were writing about us, were visiting us, and so it was a great privilege for the Department of Energy to ask Irvine to be the partner. We had the perfect venue, the perfect location, mostly the perfect weather, but I think that my excitement is that the future will allow us to again partner with the Department of Energy to host this one more time.